Are you trying to get leaner and faster at the same time? Well, most marathon runners believe that a calorie deficit is somehow the magic shortcut to achieving speed and race day abs. And believe me, I've been there. But here is the brutal truth. Doing it wrong can destroy your training. It can wreck your hormones, and it can actually leave you slower than you were before you even started. I'm Nick Hancock. I'm a professional running coach, and I'm a 250 marathoner, a 116 half marathoner, and I have found myself on podiums on ultramarathons across the world. And I am here to break down what actually works and what is pure myth on this sensitive subject when it comes to training in a calorie deficit. So first up, let's tackle some of those myths that runners commonly believe about calorie deficits. Myth number one, you need to lose weight to get faster. I'm sorry, but that is not always the case. If you are somebody who is overweight and has potential health issues, then losing some weight is going to be healthy for you, as long as it is done in a controlled way, which I'll talk about in a moment. If you are a marathon runner who is already pretty lean, like myself, I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but when I have tried to go too far with it, it has affected my performance. Myth number two, that running in a calorie deficit is a magical way to burn fat. That isn't true either. In fact, doing a lot of running, particularly training for a marathon, is a really bad way to try and burn fat. Your body is going to store additional fat whilst you're in a calorie deficit because it's not getting the energy that it needs to be able to train. Myth number three, that you can consistently train hard and maintain a significant calorie deficit without negative consequences. Again, not true. The potential for problems is very high when you are doing high volume, high intensity training for a marathon. Let's have a little look. So what really happens to your body when you run in a calorie deficit? Calories aren't just about weight. They are heavily related to the fuel for your body. When you are in a calorie deficit, your recovery slows down and your risk of injury goes up. Your hormone levels take a hit, especially if you're over 40, especially if you're female. Not exclusively to females. Us men are very prone to this too. You could expect lower testosterone levels, elevated cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Your body starts breaking down muscle, not just fat. So can you lose fat without losing speed? Yes, absolutely, but timing and moderation are crucial. Here are some of the ways that you can do it that are grounded in the evidence. So aiming for a very moderate deficit of around 300 to a maximum of 500 calories per day. Do not try and push it further than this. And I speak from experience. You should be prioritizing protein intake. And this goes for endurance athletes in general. Ideally, between 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of your body weight daily. This is not just going to help to preserve muscle mass, but it is going to help to recover quicker. It's going to help support your training, and always maintain your carb intake around your key workouts as well. Carbs protect your performance. They are crucial for recovery. So don't scrimp away from taking the gel or the chew during those harder sessions or your long runs just because you're trying to be in a calorie deficit. One of the most effective ways to combine your running with a calorie deficit is being strategic with it. So use your easy run days or your rest days to create a slight calorie gap. Keep ensuring that you are fueling your long runs, even if you're in an overall calorie deficit. Please, for the love of God, avoid fasted runs of any kind, particularly long runs, particularly hard workouts. If you want to preserve muscle mass and stay healthy, it is crucial that you do not run fasted. And ladies, this goes particularly to yourselves because it can cause havoc with your menstrual cycles. I'll come on to this in a bit more detail, menstrual cycles, hormone, we'll come on to that. Monitor your body composition gradually. Avoid rapid changes on the scale. Now let's talk about how to know if you're overdoing it. Number one, chronic fatigue and consistently poor sleep. If you are spending half your day yawning your head off, then you are probably going too far. If you feel like you can barely move on an easy run, then you're probably going too far. If you're not sleeping very well, you're probably going too far. If you are female, your menstrual cycle is a huge red flag. If you are starting to lose your menstrual cycle, if it is falling out of sync to what it normally is, then that is a huge red flag. We do not want you going into something called a relative energy deficiency in sport, or RED-S, or REDS as it's now more commonly known, because this is where you are causing yourself huge problems. It's not just the loss of your menstrual cycles or your menstrual cycle going out of sync, but that leads into things like reduced bone density, particularly the pelvic area, and this can then lead to things like stress fractures. For men, you could be losing your libido or the loss of morning erections. If you do not get a boner in the morning, let's just be quite frank with the wording, then you are probably going too far into your calorie deficit too. Another red flag is slowed running paces despite consistent effort. If you are getting slower on your runs, then you don't have enough energy to power those runs. So that's another red flag. If you constantly have cravings and you feel like you're needing to reach for the cupboard or fight willpower, then you are going too far there. And also another one is low mood. If you are irritated all the time, getting snappy with people, getting annoyed at the smallest things, and you're probably not eating enough there too. So here are some of the key takeaways. Training in a calorie deficit is not a shortcut. It is a precision tool, a bit like a scalpel. And if you want to get really specific with your calorie deficit and do it at a good time to do it is really early on in your training where your volume is lower. By using it carefully, intentionally, and only when it aligns with your long-term performance goals, then that is going to give you the best opportunity to lose a little bit of that additional, unwanted, unneeded body fat. If you really want to get leaner and run faster, what you need is a customized training plan, one that respects and leans into your real world context, your training load, your life stress, and your individual goals. Calorie deficits are just one of the many myths that might be hindering your running performance. To train smart, avoid that feeling of, oh God, this was such a difficult run, and building confidence, then check out some of my other videos and you will learn exactly how to get it right and avoid some of those common pitfalls, and stay strong and train smart. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. But if anything in this video, because it is a sensitive subject, if it has triggered you, if it has made you feel, shit about yourself, because it is tricky. I know, I have been there. Please speak to a professional. Feel free to reach out to me. I am a performance nutrition coach and I can help. And if you really need help with your eating, with your body composition, take it that next step further and speak to a dietitian or a nutritionist, and I can recommend them to you as well if that's something that you need. So feel free to reach out to me.